All right, guys, it's your boy Trey with Let's Just Talk Books. We again have Kara here. She's gonna, be bringing to us a book that she's been reading. We discussed a little bit about it in the DMs. I kind of forgot the title, but I know again it kind of is based off of dating, relationships, or actually rather a person becoming more comfortable with themselves with the aspect of dating. So let's dive right on in, Kara. If you can tell us a little bit about the book and just, why you picked it up.
So this book is called Single on Purpose. Find Yourself First. And it's by John Kim, who is a therapist um, as well. And this book I actually bought shortly after my divorce. And it the title just kind of like grabbed me because I am on the journey of being single on purpose, and trying to find myself again.
Yeah.
And so it was just that whole premise drew me in. So that's why I started reading
Mm.
it.
Before I even dive a little deeper, have you always been a reader?
I love to read. Mm-hmm.
Wow. That's because I know we're like a dying breed, So like in a sense, like I don't know that many people that read. However, at the same time, we're not because book talk is a thing.
Yeah, book talk is
Book talk
real.
is a
I
thing.
am on book talk.
Yeah. Let me take that back. Book talk could kill me for that. Yeah, there. Book talk is a thing.
It's real. Book talk is very real. I am a part of it. Well, it's on my For You page. I'm a
Mm-hmm.
part of a lot of the talks, but
Mm-hmm.
book talk is one of them.
Book talk is one of them for me too. No, you're right. You're right. Ebooks is now a thing, or even Audible. For people who are true readers, I don't know how often, I don't know how much you can say that's actually reading, but you know,
I mean, I personally like the physical book
yeah.
myself, like
Mm-hmm.
that's me.
Mm-hmm.
But there's nothing wrong with, you getting your books through because it's still the book.
Yeah.
It's just somebody's reading it to you. So
Nice.
like, if you think of children,
Yeah.
like they get their books read to them all the time.
Every time. Yeah.
So it's
Mm-hmm.
basically like that,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
if you think about it.
That's so true. That's actually a really good point. Um, yeah, the fact that we've actually had that all our lives, or at least in the beginning, early stages of our lives, people reading to us, Audible books. But now, they've become a thing where you can sleep to, like you can
Mhm.
fall asleep. It's almost like telling stories. Um,
Yes.
so you're exactly right. I love that perspective. But okay, to tie back now into this book, the title of the book again? Could you tell me the title?
It's Single on Purpose.
Single on Purpose. Could you show it? Could you like
Mhm.
sort up and show it too? I just want to make sure people see that. Okay. All right, by John Kim. Single on Purpose. If someone was to just look at this title of this book and just kind of, ask why they should read this, what would be your reasoning?
Um, well, I mean, for me, the reason that I picked it up was because I had just gotten out of a relationship, a really bad relationship, and needed to find myself again.
Yeah.
And so, like, it says, redefine everything, single on purpose, find yourself first.
Mm-hmm.
And so, um, I would say, like, it's been a really good, this is not an anti-relationship book. And it says that on the back, actually. It says, disclaimer,
Yeah.
this is not an anti-relationship book. This is a pro-relationship book. This is a pro-relationship with yourself book
Wow.
first. Like, so
Wow.
it's all about, like, there's a lot of times when we're in relationships, and he even talks about it,
Yeah.
is like we give ourselves up for our partner. Like, we will put ourselves down, we will, like, try to be everything that they want,
Yeah.
or like all of these things. And
Mm-hmm.
so by being able to take the time to like really understand who you are before diving into your next relationship, or even like he even talks about in this book, like even if you're in a relationship,
Yeah.
like this book is not like just for single people. You can read it even if you're in a relationship
Wow.
to understand who you are better, like so you can bring that to your partner as well, like because you can come together, like if you're both able to be yourselves in the relationship, that relationship will last and will grow. Because if you're not able to be yourself, if they don't like you, then how are you gonna, like, how is it gonna thrive? How is it gonna succeed?
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't like you, or you don't know even know who
Mm-hmm.
you are, how are you supposed to bring that into a relationship? Like, if you don't know who you are, how can you expect someone else to, like, if someone else can't draw that out of you, you have to draw that out of yourself.
Facts. Facts. Oh my goodness. Yeah, we spoke about this in the DMs, and you were kind of reminding me of that discussion we were having. But like you said, like if a person doesn't know who they are, I was actually talking to someone else this morning about it, and she was kind of stating how she have a lot of guys that are trying to hit on her or trying to pursue her, but they're broken. These are broken guys that have trust issues. They
Mhm.
they are narcissists because they've somehow become hurt by a female in the past, and now they blame all females, and they're just like, oh man, everyone's out to get me. So you have to act this way or be this way, and if you don't, then you're just like them. That's what you're talking about as well.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about as well. Is just like, I mean, even like, I mean, with those types of men now, is like, I just be like, okay, well, I'm not going to change who I am for like, I'm not just going to be this person that I'm not
Yeah.
for you.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can't accept me, then that's okay. But we're just gonna go our separate ways. Like, that's just it. And you can think what you want to think. Like, you can say like, oh, she's just like all the others.
Mm-hmm.
Like they can think that.
Mm-hmm.
They would be wrong,
Mm-hmm.
but they can think that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna try to change their mind.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but yeah. Uh, but they, I don't know. I guess it's just hard if you don't. It
Mm-hmm.
can also just be hard if a person doesn't think that they need to work on themselves. They're
Mm-hmm.
not going to.
Yeah.
The only way you're going to pick up this book or this kind of book is if you feel like you need it.
You need it. Exactly.
Um,
Exactly.
and that was that. I mean, that's why I picked it up,
Mm-hmm.
was because I was like, I need something like this. I need something like at this moment, because I'm alone. Like, I'm
Mm-hmm.
alone again. Like, I was married for 7 years,
Yeah.
and like, I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
I'm single,
Mm-hmm.
and it was on purpose, you
Mm-hmm.
know. And so I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, let's figure this out.
Man, I love talking to you because like you really bring in a perspective or perspectives that that make me think, and then I have to rephrase my question or like in my like, and I love that. But even going back to what you just said, you know, again, you were single and you were single on purpose. You got a divorce, married for 7 years. You then had to realize, or you realized that, I'm assuming rather, you realized that I need to learn how to be comfortable with myself.
Yeah, exactly.
Why? I'm sorry. Go say it again.
No, I said exactly. Yeah.
So then, why do you feel like some people, because I know some people that do this. I myself have done this, even because and I realized that about myself actually by talking to you. Actually, I realized that about my past relationships. I was like, man, I've actually done this. I've actually either come out of a relationship or something and masked maybe the uncomfortableness of being alone by even hooking up with females, right? Or just like
Yeah.
having friends with benefits with females. Like you don't
Yeah.
have to even be in a relationship, but you can still try to latch on with multiple women
No,
to
for real.
to run away from facing yourself.
Yeah. And I'm not saying I was definitely not perfect right out of my divorce either.
Mm-hmm.
I had those moments. I had a hookup moment. I had
Yeah.
a friends with benefits moment.
Mm-hmm.
But it was also like,
Mm-hmm.
there's those, those moments are there. And he actually he talks about it too. Like, he
Wow.
talks about in this book, he has different sections, like where he has talked about, the times where he hooks up. And he's not saying like you can't. Everybody's like singleness is going to be their own. The
Right.
whole point of the book is connecting back to yourself.
Yeah.
is figuring out who you are. And if you need to take the time, like, to be alone, like, take that time.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not against you also, you know, as long as you're able to be, I think the more important thing is like being upfront with that person that you're going to be with.
Yeah.
Like being upfront with like being like, okay, this is like what this is a hookup. What this is
Mm-hmm.
this. Like
Mm-hmm.
what the like, and making sure that both parties are on the same page. Because if you're not
Mm-hmm.
on the same page, somebody's gonna get hurt.
Someone's gonna hurt. Absolutely. He talked about that in the book.
He's talked about, yeah, lots
Wow.
of different stuff. Like, he's talked about, so like the contents, the table of contents, like act one is about the self connecting back to you.
Mm.
He talks about like some of his failed like relationships and stuff that
Mm-hmm.
he does. Act two is relationship residue, letting go. And then act three is the new you. And it just talks about like lots of different stuff.
Mm.
Um uh, yeah, he talks about lots of different stuff
Mm-hmm.
in here. Um
When reading it, would you say that was there a lot of conviction? Was there a lot of like moments where you were just like, man, you almost got mad at the book and wanted to just like put it down and not read it?
no, I wouldn't say that. Not for
Oh,
me.
wow.
Um, I didn't have any of those like conviction moments. I think most of it was just more, I would say like some of them was like aha moments of like, like I need to, like he talked about understanding your body and feeling your body like in movement. Like I was like, you know what? I need to do the things that I love. Like I like to dance. So I'm just
Mm-hmm.
gonna dance when I feel
Mm-hmm.
like dancing. Or, finding exercises that like make you feel good, doing that. Um, like not being ashamed. I think just also not being ashamed of your body, not
Yeah.
being ashamed of like yourself and
Yeah.
like truly just being yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Like, um, yeah, I think mostly it was just a way of like recognizing different things about myself and different ways that people express themselves. Like he does talk about how not every relationship ending, I can't remember. I think he calls them expirations,
Mm-hmm.
an expired relationship,
Wow.
because that's what happens. Like your relationship expires, and
Wow.
not every um expired relationship is, you're not going to heal at the same rate for each one, and it's not gonna like, you know so, and you're not going to heal at the same rate as someone else, like, so you can't compare your journey to somebody else. Like you can't compare, like,
Thanks. Mm-hmm.
like it's been 2 years since, a little over 2 years since I got divorced.
Yeah.
And so like, and I'm still healing from stuff,
Yes. Mm-hmm.
but at the same time I'm a lot further along than I was a year ago,
Thanks.
or like right after.
Mm-hmm.
um so
Yeah.
yeah, like, and he just talks about that, how you can't compare yourself to somebody else.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. That's really good because we talk about that a lot in my fitness group, with the aspect of just like compare yourself in terms of your body, and like, oh, you walk in the gym and it's like, oh man, comparison is the thief of joy, is I think the saying. Like
Yeah.
it takes away from the gratitude and the gratefulness that you should feel in what you do have and making the best of what you have. So many
Mhm.
people always wanting more and more and more and more, and you're never satisfied, essentially, which is what that book is, right? It's like,
Yeah.
being single on purpose, you're trying to latch onto these different relationships because
Hmm.
but you'll never be satisfied because you're trying to chase something that you're chasing wind.
Yeah, and I think like something he had talked about. It's been a little while since I've read it,
Yeah.
um,
Mm-hmm.
but um, but something I remember that he did talk about was just like, when you are looking for love, if you haven't really taken ownership
Mm-hmm.
of the things that happened in your relationship, like
Mhm.
on your end,
Yeah. Mhm.
you know, that caused it to expire, caused it to end.
Yeah.
If you haven't taken ownership of those things, then you're going to be bringing that baggage into your next one. And even, or if you haven't even taken the time to look at, like, you know, sometimes even looking at the partner that you chose before and just figuring out like what wasn't
Wow.
right. If you
Yeah.
don't look at that, you're also going to find another partner just like
Just
them.
like that. Yo, that's so
And
true.
it's like you'll
Mm.
just keep repeating those cycles. So
Wow.
by taking the time to take a break, to like look at those things and really take ownership of it, that's when you can move forward and you can actually see those things clearer so that you don't make those same mistakes. Not that you won't still make mistakes, not that things won't still happen. I mean, like, we're all
Yeah. Yeah.
human. There's
Yeah.
gonna be stuff, you
Absolutely.
know,
Yeah. Hmm.
but by being aware,
Yeah.
it will be easier,
Hmm. Wow.
possibly. At
That's
least that's what I'm hoping.
yeah. No, no, actually, logically, that makes sense. You know, like I think the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result. So, you know, in essence, you're saying switch it up, do something different, take a break, pause, stop trying to pursue relationships. Like, you know, if so, there's certain people that have never done that. They've never been with another person or with someone else that they were messing with on a sexual or physical or even emotional level. You know, they've never, you know, longer than a month. You know, like they've never had that. It's like, oh, I have to have, or somehow they will find their way latching on to somebody. It's like a parasite. You become a
Mhm.
parasite, and you're like,
Yeah.
just feed me. You know, it's like I have to have this,
Mhm.
and almost an addict. I wonder if you can even consider that person to be an addict.
There could, I mean, there could, it's possible. I
Mm.
don't know enough about it. I'm actually in my class that I'm taking right now is is substance abuse and addictions.
Wow.
What I'm studying right now, but
Mhm.
and there are sex addicts.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so I don't know, could be a part of, like, you know, relationship
Absolutely.
things
Hmm.
as well. I don't know.
Hmm.
But I don't know enough about it, so I'm not gonna
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
get into
Yeah.
that.
I get you. I get you. But that's good. That's really good. Like just having a just thinking on that, just questioning that. Like if
Mhm.
someone who may be listening to this or someone who may listen to this on YouTube, you know, if you are addicted or find yourself becoming addicted to sex or the pursuit of multiple partners or just multiple people in general and just never wanting to be alone. There's people that literally get anxiety being alone. I know people who are like, I can't. I know some people who have told me they do not like their room.
Mhm.
Like it's like they get anxiety coming in. It's like, you know, at nighttime when they're about to go to sleep, they get anxiety. They're like, when I get in those four walls, man, that's I don't want to go in those four walls. And it's like, wow, that's I love my room.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if you know,
Yeah, I
I
know.
love like
I love my room. My room
I
is
love
comfy.
it. Yeah, it's like it's like I love it. You know, I love my alone times. I love moments where I can kind of breathe. So to think about people that don't love that, or in a sense like that sees that as almost a punishment.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess that I mean, that would have to, yeah, they, some people are probably just, they are afraid to be alone with themselves. I mean, I can understand it in a sense. Like,
Mhm.
it took me a really long time to get out of my relationship, my last relationship, because I was afraid of being alone
Yeah,
again.
yeah.
Like being alone. It is a terrifying thought,
Hmm.
you know? Like, you get comfortable with somebody
Hmm.
even
Hmm.
if they're not good
Hmm.
or right for you, or
Hmm.
like um yeah, uh, it's just, you know, you get in that comfort zone, you get in
Hmm.
that pattern, and you're like, well, I don't know who I'd be without them, or
Wow.
no, you know, that
Yep.
kind of thing.
Hmm.
And so truthfully, like, that's why, again, this was such a very good book for me to read,
Yeah.
right? Like, it was pretty much like right after my divorce that I found it and started reading it.
Wow.
Was um because like, you know, taking that time to think about like, who am I, what do I want, um and I'm not defined by, you know, being so and so's wife, being
Exactly.
this or that, you know, like
Hmm.
I'm just so and so's daughter, I'm not just this, you know, like there's multiple facets.
Yeah. Hmm.
And so being able to recognize that, take that in, and really just, you know, sit with it.
Hmm. Hmm. That's dope. Have from reading this book, the things you've read in the book and the applications you perhaps have implemented from reading the book, have there been people who have told you, man, I see that difference, or man, you definitely seem comfortable being alone? Have you been hearing those things?
I have, yeah, some of my
Mhm.
really good close friends,
Wow.
like especially this year, I mean, they're like, man, Kara, like I can see such a difference in you this year from like
Mm,
last year, like from
mm.
like when you first moved out here, from like, you know, there's just like you've got your glow back, you've got
Wow.
like, you
Mm-hmm.
know, like I can see you being yourself, like you're smiling, like you're
Hmm.
doing all of this stuff. And so it's like, so yeah, I would say, yeah, I've heard people be like, yeah, I can definitely see a difference.
That's so beautiful. That's so beautiful to know that you have had people come to you and notice that. It's a really good feeling. Though we don't get validation from those things, we still do appreciate it. You know?
Yeah. No, it is good to see. And honestly, I've seen it too because of
Wow.
things, well, yeah, just because like, you know, we save you know, stuff on social media, or like we'll save, you know, like I
Yeah.
have like my Snapchat
Hmm.
stories that I
Hmm.
saved or whatever.
Hmm.
And I went back, like there was one of uh like the first year anniversary
Yeah.
basically
Hmm.
of my divorce, where I was just like, I looked a mess, like just
Wow.
like dejected, lots of things. And then like 2 year anniversary, like I'm like glowing, you
Yeah.
know, like it's like a totally different,
Let's go.
different like perspective,
Mm.
different experience. And so yeah, so it, I mean it's positive to see that, like it's positive to see those things. And honestly, I'm glad that I saved some of those like moments
Yeah.
of like
Yeah.
even like going through it. Like I
Facts.
took a picture of me when I was having to separate the kitchen stuff,
Yeah.
like that we had, you know, like we were separating stuff out, and like I was sitting in the middle of the kitchen crying, like trying to remember. I'm like, I think I put on that post, I said, I'm trying to remember what we decided, like, you know, to give. I'm like, I'm not trying to take too much. Like, I'm not trying to take more than
Mm-hmm.
what was like
Mm-hmm.
my, like what
Yeah.
we decided.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I just really hope I never have to go through this again. And like, it's just
Wow.
like me crying, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, seeing those things, it's like you can see the pain, but then,
Yeah.
like, you can see the growth at the end.
Mm-hmm.
So I think
Mm.
sometimes it's also just good to take pictures, or you know, you don't always have to take pictures of like when you're sad or in these moments, but at the
Right.
same time, it's not, I don't think it's bad to do that,
Exactly.
because
Hmm.
it can also be healing later on. It can be healing in that moment and it can be healing later on
Exactly.
when you see how much you've grown.
Exactly. Exactly. It's almost like a hair journey, where you're like constantly taking, but you shave your head
Yeah.
off, you shave all your hair off, and it's like, man, like as you see it progress, you look back and it's like, wow, you don't even look the same when you don't
Mhm.
have hair and when you do, so
Yeah.
like to hear you saying that about you, I would love to see that picture. I don't know if you have like a piece of content up or anything like where you can send it
I
to me.
don't I don't have a content, but I can find it. I can find
Yeah, I would love to see it. Like I saw there's another friend, and she was in a domestic violence relationship a few years ago, and she would post like old memory snaps on Snapchat, and I saw that one snap that she had posted that was in a memory like 2-3 years ago. And I all I had to do was look in her eyes.
Yeah.
The
No, you
eyes.
can see it so much through the eyes. You can see so much. Like they say the eyes are the window to
Windows to
the
the soul,
soul.
right?
And
Yeah.
that
Mhm.
like you can tell so much in a person's eyes. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Like her, it was almost like it was just like literally, it was almost like it was pitch dark. Like it was just like, and you just saw this person staring at the camera. And then, I see them now and I know them now. And I'm like, that was like, I literally messaged him. I was like, that was you? Like, I told him, I was like, tell me what happened. Like, what was going on in that photo? And then she like kind of told me a little bit about it. And I was just like, wow, like to think you're this person that's getting the crap beat out of you after you didn't took this photo or before, it's like, it is really hard to even talk about because I get real sensitive with those things. But yeah, like like it to me it really pays to record and track your progress because it then not only becomes motivation for you or inspiration for you, it becomes motivation or inspiration for someone else. So I implore you to actually like maybe if you want to, but I would say snap that photo and snap you now or snap a recent and like show the comparison and like maybe make some content with that because your story is beautiful
I've
and
I've started mostly like, I'm kind of like I'm a very, like I said, I am introverted and I
mm-hmm,
am also like a private person
mm-hmm,
as well.
mm-hmm,
So like um so mostly like even those photos like on my
yeah.
Snapchat I have like a private story that I have like a select few of people seen it.
Yeah.
So like so yeah, so some of those I think more recently, like since things have come, I've um I've started posting like I think I posted that one on like the more public,
Yeah.
like all my friends could see it
Yeah.
maybe this year. I don't remember exactly, but I've also talked about it a little bit in her collective as well with those
Okay.
ladies,
Awesome.
simply because like we are forming bonds and we're
Yep.
forming those things and so like knowing those stories and stuff being an inspiration for other people, like you said, like there are a lot of people who've gone through stuff and even like you know um and it's possible maybe I will start. I mean, I've already started talking about it,
Mm-hmm.
so
It may or may
that's,
not, but yeah.
that's
Mhm.
something, yeah.
Exactly. Being comfortable with what you are comfortable with posting and in that, being comfortable in what you're comfortable with sharing. But I think anything you share, your life is so full of elements that are just gold mines to where I think people will get benefit out of anything. You could talk about a piece of bread. And I think people will get like biblical wisdom from it. Like I'm just like
Well,
like
I do like to cook and I like to bake, so
hey,
I got my grandpa's bread recipe I could
come
make.
on. I'm just saying. But I love that. I love that. I love this. I love your mindset. I love, the reasoning for you grabbing the book, the reasoning for you wanting to come on here and talk about it a little bit. We are closing out on the 30 minutes for this particular segment because then I guess this could actually trigger into your suicide story. I'm not sure how much it ties into it, but perhaps it does.
Yeah, yeah, um, yeah. This would we can transition from yeah we can
Okay.
we're in this mindset.
Yo, let's go. Okay, so it's actually it's perfect how it's flowing. Like you see, like it's naturally flowing. And maybe well actually I'll ask that on in the next segment. But again, I appreciate you again for bringing this book into our attention, sharing and showcasing uh the story and the context behind the book, why you got the book, what the book meant to you, the things that the book really instilled or bestowed upon you. Um, I think all of those different elements that you shared were elements that, again, though you are a female, not just females, but males go through. You know, like the things you're saying is for everyone, to be honest, if we're being honest. Um, and
Well, I mean, the author of the book, he's a male.
exactly.
And you know, and I mean, I follow him actually on Instagram too.
Nice.
He goes by the Angry Therapist. Well, because he wrote a book called I Used to Be a Miserable F. That
Mm,
was hit like one of his first books.
wow.
And so yeah, um so he's written a few others. I follow him on Instagram.
Wow.
He's the Angry Therapist.
Mhm.
And he has some like really good relationship advice. He's
Wow.
happily married now,
Wow.
again, and like has a beautiful daughter, like all this
Wow.
stuff. Like it's great.
Mhm.
But you know, just you can get a lot of wisdom from different people.
Exactly.
Got to take the time to listen.
Exactly. Exactly. That's I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. If you can too, I'm gonna try to look him up, but if you can't, I would love you to send me his profile.
Yeah.
Too. Yeah, I would love to follow him and also your sister's music.
Yes, I will
Yeah,
send.
yeah,
I
yeah.
will. Don't worry, I won't forget. I'll
Yeah,
send you
don't forget
the
that. Yeah, you can't forget that care. Don't forget that. But I think it's dope. Thank you again for bringing the book into our perspective and allowing us to feed off of what you got from it. Guys, this is your boy Trey with Let's Just Talk Books. I'm here with Kara. She again was able to bring us a book that I think was something that truly could bring value to just about everyone's life. And that is being comfortable with the essence of the book was being comfortable with yourself, finding yourself, and understanding yourself and understanding to love yourself. You know, be comfortable with yourself. So, Kara, thank you so much for this time. It was an honor. And I guess as we transition over now into your story, that then kind of give us even more context on what was probably going on in the aspect of, you know, relationships or what we just talked about. So, guys, TikTok, y'all stay tuned, man, because we heading over into the next segment. YouTube, thank y'all for tuning in. Again, let's just talk books. And until next time, peace.